Daulton Varsho is currently in his final season of team control with the Blue Jays after signing a $10.75 million contract to avoid arbitration this offseason. The Jays and Varsho likely had extension conversations, but nothing was able to get done. Now Varsho, who has been one of the cornerstones of the Jays outfield over the past 3 seasons, is set to hit free agency, but can the Blue Jays really afford to let him walk? I think the answer is no. So today we're going to break down why the Jays need to get a deal done, looking at his offensive breakout in 2025, his elite defensive profile, the future of the Jays outfield depth, and the lack of star talent in this year's free agent class. So let's get into it. After struggling heavily at the plate in his first season as a Jay in 2023, posting a WRC plus of 84 and a slugging percentage of .389, both well below his averages in Arizona, Varsho steadily turned the corner in 2024, working back towards becoming a league average bat with a WRC plus of 99. But the power remained low with just 18 home runs in 513 plate appearances and a slugging percentage of .407. It was in 2025 that he put it all together. In an injury-shortened season, Varsho slashed to a .238 average, a .284 on base, and a .548 slug with 20 home runs in just 271 plate appearances and a career-high 123 WRC+. With much improved batted ball data, including career highs in average exit velocity, bat speed, and hard hit percentage, it was not crazy to suggest a new norm for him offensively. Coming into 2026, offensive expectations were high for Varsho, but the production was slow to follow. Through March and April, Varsho posted a 102 WRC+ and a slugging percentage of .408, looking more like his 2024 self than his 25 self. May, however, has been a different story. His WRC+ has jumped to 137, his slugging to .473, and his average exit velocity has climbed back to 89 miles per hour with a hard hit percentage of 52%, looking more like the hitter we expected this season. What's also been interesting is his plate discipline. Varsho is carrying career-low whiff and strikeout rates alongside a much improved walk rate to start 2026, which is something worth monitoring as the season progresses. If he can sustain a WRC+ between 110 and 120 alongside his elite defense, he's one of the best center fielders in baseball. The numbers already prove it, with a 2.8 BWAR in just 71 games last season and a 4.8 BWAR in 136 games in 2024 as nothing more than a league average bat. As long as the bat stays competent, Varsho is one of the most valuable players on the Jays roster, and they can't afford to lose him. We all know Varsho's value is driven by his defensive production. Since being traded to Toronto in 2023, Varsho has posted a fielding run value of 33, an outs above average of 34, and 66 defensive runs saved, all of which rank him as a top defensive outfielder in baseball. Despite a slow start defensively in 2026 with a fielding run value of 0, an outs above average, and defensive runs saved of 1, Varsho has been better in the field as of lately, and those numbers should improve over a full season. The biggest concern with his defensive profile is his arm, which has seen a significant drop in strength and has become a largely below average tool. However, if he can maintain his value from a range and route running perspective, it will help minimize the impact of a weaker arm. Assuming Varsho can hold on to his defensive value combined with his offensive improvements, he will continue to be one of the most valuable players the Jays have in their outfield. Looking at the future of center field for the Blue Jays, there are simply no internal options to replace Varsho if he leaves in free agency. Miles Straw has a club option for next season, meaning he could return, but he would be a significant downgrade offensively as an everyday center fielder. Beyond Straw, no prospect is pushing the door in the next couple of years, leaving the Jays without a feasible internal replacement. The free agent market doesn't offer much relief either. The best outfielders this coming offseason are names like Randy Rosarena, Seiya Suzuki, and Ian Happ, who are all good hitters, but none of them can play a strong center field. So for the future of center field in Toronto, the Jays have no option except to extend Varsho. Ideally, the Jays could lock him into a shorter term, 3 to 4 year deal to reduce some of the risks in his profile, which are things like his injury history and his declining arm strength coming off of shoulder surgery. A deal like that would also help bridge the gap to 2025 draft picks Jake Cook and Blaine Bullard, who look to be the future of the Jays outfield. At the end of the day, Varsho brings elite defense, a proven solid bat, and there's no viable replacement for him inside or outside the organization. The Jays need to get the deal done. Drop your thoughts on a Varsho extension in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.